Afraid she'll steal the silver? So was I when you first brought me here. Clean her up, give her something to wear, and burn all her things. She won't be needing them anymore. Observe, child. Quintessence of devoted marriage. How carefully I attend to my dear husband's toilette. And how fearlessly he exposes his throat to my blade.
Come along.
Leave her. 2 few and 3's too many. Your eyes, so filled with want. The hard part's not getting what you want, child. The hard part's knowing what you want.
But I do. I do know what I want.
Of course. To be just like me.
Someday. I hope I may be.
Well, it's better to travel hopefully than to arrive. A story?
Oh, yes, please. I haven't heard one in such a long time. Not since my mother died.
No. Puritan fathers don't care much for stories. We women keep them alive. Yes. This one has all my favorites. You may borrow it if you like.
No. Father says girls have no need to learn to read. He would read the only book worth reading and read it to me. And then one day he would find the right man to take over the job. God's will.
Not my God. Mine likes us to read for ourselves. Perhaps I shall teach you to read someday. In the meantime, I'll tell you one from memory about the Queen of the Night and how she became queen. Not all queens start as princesses.
Some begin in ashes.
Indeed. Okay. Once upon a time, there lived a maiden. Hair as black as night. Skin as white as snow. And the maiden, she loved a handsome prince. And the prince loved her. Come. But there was an evil king, and he sent the prince to his death. And the poor maiden, her heart turned gray as ash. One night, in her despair, a fairy came to her and promised her that all the world would be hers if she would but give up the last of her love for her dead prince. And though she wept to lose the only part of him that still lived deep inside her, she did as she was told, in the hopes that all her dreams might still come true. And so it came to pass that the Ash Maiden was brought to the king's castle. through the scullery door, she walked for the Ash Maiden herself to become queen.
Did she? Did she what? Become queen?
Yes. But you know the worst part about becoming queen? It often requires marrying a king. And so the Ash Maiden married the evil king and became queen. Her wedding night a consummation of joy and pleasure. That night she felt one monster on top of her and another inside. And she glimpsed what her soul was becoming and learned her first lesson as queen. Be careful what you wish for. She served as the queen to the evil king for 2 years when she could take no more. But the fairy refused and showed her all the kingdom that lay before her and said all this might still be hers.
You know why the Mathers and the Sibleys and the Oldens and the other founding families really picked this spot to be their new Jerusalem? This town will become one of the richest on earth.
The Ash Maiden understood there was no turning back. She would embrace her role as queen and all the power that came with it. That night, for the first time, she would use that power. And that night, the whole world.
Come here.
For it was not by a kiss she might make a frog into a prince, but by a kiss she might make a king into a toad.
I must find you.
But even bound, you are far too much man for me. I need some help to handle. Do you like games, George?
Yeah. Yes.
Became the queen of the night, and so she lived happily ever after.
How are we here? We're in the woods.
There are many doors to many places. For a witch, no. You most certainly won't. All the world shall be yours. So I have found you. I owe you so much. I remember all you taught me. How to think like a Puritan. To see through their... And how one day we would use their unquenchable desire to seize control. And yet, you brought the malum. Why, Rose? Just a man. I am no mere girl to fall to pieces for a man.
I have looked into your heart, and it is anything but loveless. You still love. There is no part of all this. I put the very thought in George Sibley's head that...
It was you.
Not a step have I not foreseen.
And you. How came you to be here? No. Oh, really? Why?
You should be flattered. The poor fool. He still loves you. And always will. And your eyes at the trouble of
Have you met our newest sister? Captain Alden? Reverend Mother?
Evening, Mrs. Sibley. You're out late.
I'm often sleepless. And I find the night air calms me. And you too?
We were just tracking the retrograde movement of Saturn.
Taken up astrology, Captain?
You know what they say, the fault's not in us, but the stars.
I think you may have that the wrong way around.
Good night to you both.
I would ask what really happened to you tonight.
But
You'd never tell me. I know you.
walk you home.
I see I got here in time before you could drown the poor Tituba. Need to talk about your new little sister?
You couldn't do it, could you? You looked into those big eyes and you lost your resolve.
I looked into those eyes, and I saw myself staring back. And then I knew there was another way. She cannot point at me and say which, when she's one herself. I'll finish here. Men think of themselves as rock, hard as stone. They are hard, brittle, and know that we are mostly water. See around us, see inside us. When I hurt, I remember that. I remember what water is. What it does. Flows. Changes. It endures far longer than the rock. I know you went through hell this night. As I once did. Mercy. You will never face hell again. Alone.